Picture this. You've worked your whole life. You've paid taxes, raised a family, built a life in America, and done everything you were supposed to do. And now you're staring at retirement, with Social Security as your main income, while rent, groceries, healthcare, insurance, property taxes, and everyday costs keep climbing. For many Americans, the math is starting to feel uncomfortable. Social Security helps, but for a lot of retirees, it does not feel like enough to live the retirement they imagined. And that is why more Americans are starting to ask a serious question. What if retirement does not have to happen in the United States? What if your money could go 2, 3, or even 4 times further somewhere else? Places like Thailand, Bali, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines are becoming more attractive to American retirees. And these are not all wealthy millionaires. Many are ordinary retirees who simply realize that the same income that feels tight in Florida, California, Texas, or New York can feel completely different in Southeast Asia. So what is really going on here? And how much money would you actually need? Let's start with the obvious. America has a retirement cost problem. Housing is expensive, healthcare is expensive, insurance is expensive, and even if your mortgage is paid off, property taxes, maintenance, utilities, and medical bills can still eat through your retirement income quickly. In 2026, the estimated average monthly Social Security retirement benefit for a retired worker is around $2,071 per month. For an aged couple where both receive benefits, the estimated average is around $3,208 per month. That means many retirees are trying to build an entire retirement lifestyle on an income that may not stretch very far inside the United States. For many retirees, the problem is not that they were irresponsible. The problem is that retirement became more expensive than many people expected. The old retirement dream assumed cheaper housing, lower medical costs, pensions, and maybe a paid-off home. But today, more Americans are retiring with rent, mortgages, debt, family support responsibilities, or retirement savings that may not last as long as expected. That gap is why retiring overseas is becoming a serious idea, not just a fantasy, a financial strategy. Now, here is something many people do not realize. Social Security can often continue if you live overseas. The U.S. government says many people can receive Social Security payments while living in most foreign countries. But you should check the exact country rules using the Social Security Administration's Payments Abroad screening tool. So before anyone books a one-way ticket, this is something you must check properly, because the rules can depend on your citizenship, the country you move to, the type of benefit you receive, and reporting requirements. Getting this wrong can create serious problems later. Assuming you plan correctly, the big reason Asia becomes attractive is simple: cost of living. Let's start with Thailand. Thailand is one of the most popular retirement destinations in Southeast Asia, especially places like Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Hua Hin, and Phuket. Chiang Mai has warm weather, affordable food, modern apartments, private hospitals, and a large expat community. A comfortable single retiree lifestyle may cost around $1,500 to $2,500 per month, depending on rent, healthcare, visa costs, and lifestyle. You can live cheaper than that, and you can definitely spend more. Thailand also has long-stay visa options for retirees, but these usually require proof of income, savings, health insurance, or money in a Thai bank account. So this is not something you guess. You plan it. Next is Bali. For many Americans, Bali feels like a dream retirement location. Warm weather, beaches, cafes, villas, a slower lifestyle, and a strong expat community. A comfortable lifestyle may cost around $1,700 to $3,000 per month, depending on where you live and how you spend. But Bali is not just a permanent vacation. Indonesia has visa requirements, health insurance rules, accommodation rules, and financial conditions. So Bali can be beautiful, but you need to understand the paperwork before making it your retirement base. Then there is Malaysia. Malaysia is one of the strongest options for retirees who want good infrastructure, English-speaking services, reliable health care, and a lower cost of living. Penang and Kuala Lumpur are especially popular. A comfortable lifestyle in Malaysia may cost around $1,800 to $3,000 per month, depending on rent, healthcare, transport, and lifestyle. Malaysia can feel modern and comfortable, but its long-stay visa requirements can be higher than some retirees expect. So again, research matters. Vietnam is another option. Cities like Da Nang, Hoi An, Ho Chi Minh City, and Hanoi have become popular with expats because of beaches, food, low costs, and energy. Vietnam can be very affordable. But there is one major catch. Vietnam does not have the same simple retirement visa pathway that some other countries offer, so it may be cheaper. But it can involve more uncertainty, more admin, and more visa planning. And then there is the Philippines. English is widely spoken. There is an established American expat community, and there is a retirement visa pathway designed for foreign retirees. Places like Dumaguete, Cebu, Baguio, and parts of Manila can offer a much lower cost lifestyle. A comfortable lifestyle in the Philippines might sit around $1,500 to $2,500 per month, depending on location and healthcare needs. But healthcare quality varies by city. So if you have medical issues, you need to think carefully about being near good hospitals. Now let's get into the real numbers. How much do you actually need to retire in Asia? Let's keep it simple. If your target lifestyle costs $2,000 per month, that is $24,000 per year. For a single person receiving average Social Security, that might be close to covering a modest lifestyle in some parts of Southeast Asia. For a couple both receiving Social Security, the numbers can look even stronger. But this does not mean you should retire overseas with no savings. Retiring overseas with no savings would be risky, because life overseas still has surprise costs. Flights back to America, health insurance, visa fees, currency changes, family emergencies, dental work, medical treatment, moving costs, and periods where rules change. A safer approach is to have Social Security or investment income for the regular lifestyle, plus a separate emergency fund. For example, having $30,000 to $50,000 set aside as a buffer could make a huge difference, because the cheapest retirement plan is not always the safest retirement plan. And if you are retiring before you can claim Social Security, the calculation changes completely, because you cannot rely on Social Security yet. If you want $30,000 per year from investments, using the 4% rule as a rough guide, you would need around $750,000 invested. If you want $40,000 per year, you would need around $1 million invested. Now let's talk about your 401k, IRA or Roth IRA. Your retirement accounts do not disappear because you move overseas. But withdrawal rules, tax rules, required minimum distributions, bank access, and residency issues still matter. So before leaving the U.S., you need to understand how your accounts will work while living abroad. Managing financial paperwork from overseas is much harder than sorting it before you leave. You may need a U.S. mailing address, a reliable bank account, online access, two-factor authentication, a tax professional, and a plan for transferring money internationally. Now let's talk about the thing that keeps many American retirees awake at night: healthcare. Medicare is important inside the United States, but Medicare coverage outside the U.S. is very limited. In most situations, Medicare does not pay for healthcare or medical supplies you receive outside the United States. In places like Thailand and Malaysia, private healthcare can be excellent. Many hospitals are modern, efficient, and used by international patients, but you usually need to pay. That is why international health insurance is not optional for many retirees. It is essential. And here is something Americans must understand. Moving overseas does not automatically remove your U.S. tax obligations. U.S. citizens and resident aliens living abroad generally still have U.S. tax filing responsibilities. Worldwide income can still be subject to U.S. tax rules. So before moving, speak to a qualified tax professional. But taxes and healthcare are not the only risks. Currency risk matters too. If your income is in U.S. dollars but your costs are in Thai baht, Malaysian ringgit, Indonesian rupiah, Vietnamese dong, or Philippine pesos, exchange rates can change your lifestyle. A retirement that feels affordable today may feel tighter if the dollar weakens. Then there is loneliness. This is the part nobody wants to talk about. Moving to Asia sounds exciting: warm beaches, cheap food, beautiful apartments, a slower life. But being far away from children, grandchildren, friends, familiar stores, doctors, and community can become heavy over time. That is why the smartest move is not to sell everything immediately. The smartest move is to do a trial run. Spend 1 to 3 months in the country first. Rent a place, shop locally, visit hospitals, talk to expats, test the lifestyle, because a place that feels amazing for 2 weeks may feel very different after 6 months. Because retiring overseas is not just a money decision. It is a lifestyle decision, a healthcare decision, a family decision, a tax decision, and an emotional decision. So is retiring in Asia right for every American? No. But for Americans wondering how to make retirement money last, Asia can offer something powerful. A way to reduce housing pressure. A way to enjoy warmer weather, cheaper food, and a slower pace. But only if you plan it properly. Start with research. Then do a trial run. Then build a plan. Because for some Americans, retiring in Asia may not just be a dream. It may be the smartest financial move they ever make. If this video helped you think differently about retirement, hit the like button, subscribe, and follow for more American money videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.